It's the SA SBK Series 2020 with NGK spark plugs and Bridgestone tyres. We're off-season at the moment, but during the off-season with the lockdown, we've come out to Swartkorps, and some of the bikes are out there practicing. And one of the riders out on the track today has been Garrick Vlok, one of our national superbike contenders. Now, Garrick, great to see you out here testing on your bike. Going back to those first couple of races this year, you actually had a pretty good run, particularly the second heat of the last race that you had. Very good.
Yeah, the bikes, we've had a few problems with brakes and that on the bikes and that, but otherwise the bike's been good. Wayne's been helping us again this year, and everything's there. It's just to sort the brakes out now.
Just tell us a little bit about Garrick Vlok, where you come from, how you got into motorbike racing. Lots of the other guys started off on little mini bikes, that type of thing.
Yeah, I started when I was 7 on a PV50, and I rode that for about an hour and landed up in hospital. And then, yeah, I didn't want to ride anymore, so my dad bought me a quad bike. I started riding quad bikes until I was about 14, and then moved to a 80 KX85, and then eventually up to a KX250, and then eventually onto the 600s.
So you made the move to the big track. Is that because your family were involved in racing? Is that why you actually raced?
Well, my dad always wanted me to ride bikes and that with him and that. So I was always riding, and then what happened is I used to ride a 600 to school, and I parked outside the one day and came out and it was gone. So my dad went to DNA Motorcycles to get me another road bike, and I think it was actually Michael Harris's 600 race bike that was there, and we had a look at it. My dad asked me if I want to give it a go, so we tried it out, and I've loved it.
Got into racing. Do you think racing is a good thing for youngsters? Keep them out of the shopping malls, keep them off the TV games. Do you see that as well? We always say that racing is good because you've got to be dedicated when you race motorbikes.
Yeah, I know when you ride bikes, you got to get your mind right, and you got to train all the time to get fit for the riding and that. So it definitely helps with the dedication and that. So you got to train and do all of that to go and ride the bikes.
So you rode regionals, you did all that sort of stuff. Then you made the big jump to nationals. Did you find that was a big jump going from regional racings up to the national racing?
Yeah, well, we were riding the regionals, and then eventually we did 1 or 2 nationals, and it was a huge difference at the time. The pace was a lot faster, but luckily when I started doing the nationals, there was a lot of regional riders that would come and do the nationals with us, so we would go and we'd have our own race within the nationals, and then over time, obviously, we'd get a little bit closer to the guys in the front.
It's quite a big commitment to do national series. It means a lot of traveling. Do you enjoy that sort of thing?
Yeah, I do enjoy it. It's the time where we can take off work and things like that. So, we go to the races, relax, and just enjoy the racing.
Coming back to this year, as we said, you had a great run at the beginning of the year. Your bike, I think, is a 2016, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
So you're running a 16 model against some of the later stuff. That's pretty tough.
Yeah, no, the bike is still, I think it's still competitive. There might be a few changes here and there on the newer bikes, but the R1 is a very competitive bike, so it's still good.
What's it like riding with McFadden's and those sort of guys, Clint Seller and all the top riders, Lance Isaacs, probably guys that you've looked up to your whole time. Now you're suddenly racing with them. What's that like for you?
Yeah, no, it's good. You can learn a lot from all those riders. They're some of the best riders in South Africa. So, every time you ride, if you get in a dice with one of them, you will definitely learn something from them. So.
And how have you found the change onto setup for this year with Bridgestone tyres, that sort of thing?
The Bridgestone, it's a good tyre. It's very different to the Pirellis and the Metzlers, but once you get your setup and your pressures and everything right in the tyre, it's a good tyre. The tyre wear as well it lasts a lot longer, so you can do a lot more laps on it before you have to change.
Going forward, where would you like to end up in motorbike racing? Where do you see yourself in the future?
Well, I think I'm a bit big in that to go overseas with my racing and compete there, but yeah, in the nationals, if I could just try and get closer to the top and have some good races with like Clinton Teller and David McFadden and those guys, then that's where I want to be at the front.
Your favourite track in the country at the moment?
My favourite track's probably between Pakisa and Red Star.
Anybody overseas that you really admire in MotoGP or that type of thing?
Well, the guy I admire in MotoGP and that is Marc Marquez. I think he's great. The guy's got a lot of talent, and he's good. I look up to him because he's always at the front. No matter what he does, he's always there.
Yeah. Garrick, you've also got a bit of a reputation for throwing it away a few times in the races, particularly when you run out of brakes.
Yeah.
How do you crash, get back up and carry on? Do you think it affects you much?
I think it's because, I've always been crashing, so I'm sort of used to it by now. But yeah, obviously riding with Clinton Teller and Lance Isaacs, David McFadden, you've got to push as hard as you can to be there at the front. And if you don't push from the beginning, they're going to be gone. There's no chance. So while I'm up and going, I've got to try my best. And if I do fall, then it's one of those things. You can't let those guys go.
If you had to give advice to anybody joining the sport, we've got a lot of young kids coming along now. What advice would you give to them to get into the national series, and what should they do?
Oh, well, they'd start with, they must keep fit, they must train, obviously for the riding, and, do the regionals and that, and then once they get a little bit faster there, they can move up onto the nationals, and there will be somebody in the nationals that they'll obviously have a dice with there, and eventually they'll get faster and faster and faster.
Well, it's been great talking to you. I'm sure you're itching to get back on the bike, go back out there. Let's hope we get racing pretty soon, and we'll see you then.
Thank you very much.